All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. Sorry, we had a little technical glitches as we were getting everything ready for tonight's show. We're going to have a little fun tonight. We're going to be doing a little bit of, like I say, a little fun. We're going to put up our thoughts against AI. We'll see what they come up with. See if they can outsmart us. And we'll have a little fun with it. But let's thank our sponsors of the show tonight. That would be Prize Picks. Prize Picks. Let me pull up Prize Picks on the screen. I should have had that ready, but I don't. Here we go. Prize Picks. And I just need to put the NCS. There we go. Okay. Prize Picks. Use that promo code NCSN that you see at the bottom down in the corner of the screen. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you build lineups by choosing whether players will have more or less than a projected total, stat total. Right now, new users can get $50 in lineups when they play their first $5 lineup, win or lose. Hey, that's not a match where you got to put in 50 to get 50. They're giving you 50 just to play $5. You can't lose. Man, this is fun stuff. Prize Picks available in 45 states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Pick app today or click on the link in this description of this video or this live stream. Build your lineup. Follow along while watching the games. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Also, we're sponsored by Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Make sure you give Chapman Law Group a call for all your legal needs. There's their number on the screen. Chapman Law Group. David Chapman and his group specialize in personal injury. You got a personal injury, it can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be a car accident. It could be, you tripped over a rock on your neighbor's lawn. I don't know. Just give Chapman Law Group a call at 415-613-9483, and they will take good care of you. All right. And by the way, the call's free, the consultation's free. So don't feel like you got to have big bucks to give them a call for that consultation for personal injury. All right, let me get the band to stop playing here. Might even go through the whole song. There we go. Boom, we did it.
Perfect timing.
So we'll start them up at the end of the show then. All right, guys, a little bit of fun tonight. LA Dodgers repeat. AI says Olive Garrett. Okay. Hey, Spencer, good to see you. All right. So who knows what, I guess we just having a little fun. This is the type of year where you have nothing to talk about. And anyway, let's dive into this. Shall we, Dallas?
Sure.
What do we want to start first? Where do we want to go?
Well, let's fire this thing up here. See if it works. Hello, are you there?
Absolutely. I'm right here. Loud and clear. Just let me know what's on your mind and we'll jump right in.
Can you tell us 10 baseball jokes?
I'd love to tell you a few, but I'll spare you a barrage of 10 all at once so you don't feel like you're stuck in extra innings. Let's start with one. Why did the baseball team recruit a baker? Because they needed a good batter. If you're up for more, I've got plenty in the lineup.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Give us another one.
All right, here's another one stepping up to the plate. Why was the baseball team always in trouble?
Why?
Because they kept hitting foul balls. Let me know when you want another pitch.
Stop.
No, thank you. That was enough.
All good. A couple of chuckles go a long way anyway. If you ever want to swing back around to some more, just let me know.
All right, will do.
Sounds
Okay.
like a plan. I'll be here whenever you're ready. In the meantime, enjoy whatever's next on deck.
All right. So
Mute her. All right, let's do this. All right. Let me grab my list here. Hold on 1 second here. Let me get up and I got it in my desk here. 1 sec. I'll be right back.
all right. Well, while we wait for Dan, let's see if I can share this screen here.
All right, we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I've got a lineup here. San Francisco Giants lineup that I put together. And let's see where they put the lineup. I'll give her the stats. What I'm doing is I'm doing WOBA and XWOBA, which takes into account, on base percentage, hits, walks. It's a category through whichever stat line it was. I'm all of a sudden forgetting, but I've got it right here. Hold on, let me pull it up here. Let me grab it for you guys. Okay. So I was playing around with the lineup today, looking at some different things, Dallas, trying to figure out, with this whole Luis Arias thing, where he belongs in this lineup and what is, his impact going to be on the team. And because there's a lot of talk about the Arias deal, is it
a net positive for the team?
Yeah. With his defensive liability and all these different things. So, so I was just playing around with it. I wanted to do a deep dive and look at this, at his, so I want to hear what they have to say. So what we've done tonight is Dallas has queued up the voice. She's on mute now, so she can't hear us, but once we unmute her, she'll be listening to the conversation. So we're going to ask her questions. And why do we choose her? Well, in honor of Rennell, right? We need the female PA. The female PA. So she is.
ChatGPT should have just hired Rennell as the voice.
Right.
It would have been much improved.
Exactly. So you guys might ask, what is, WOBA and what is all this mean, and because it's one of these new stats over the years, that what it really is. So I'm going to try to pull that up for you guys to give it a little bit easier explanation. Hold on here. Let me see if I can find where I had that. Okay. WOBA is weighted on base average. Okay. It's an all-in-one offensive value stat. Instead of treating all hits the same, like batting averages, because, this is all brought on by Luis Arias, is, hey, he's, if you listen to some people, he's the greatest hitter in baseball, according to, Glenn over at Giant Sports Talk Live. I heard him say he's the best hitter in baseball. I'm like, have you ever heard of a guy named Aaron Judge, Glenn, or Shohei Ohtani? There's a lot of guys that are a lot more productive than Luis Arias. Yes, he doesn't strike out as much, and he makes contact more than anybody, but he makes very soft contact.
Depends on what the goal is. If batting average is your metric, then he's at the top or very close to the top.
Right. But he's not. He's barely above average as a hitter all around. His WRC plus was like 104, which 100 is being average. So there's a lot of things to take in. Now, he can work really well with the right team, and hopefully the Giants, it fits with the Giants, because what they need from him is get on base and move runners along when runners are in scoring position, when get those runs home when it's his turn to come up at bat, because the Giants have been striking out at a crazy clip once he, other guys come in. So
I'm really looking forward to seeing him because, I just saw him when the Padres played the Giants, and he was annoying. He was always getting on base. He was a frustrating opposing player, but he's kind of a weird situation where he doesn't strike out at all, 3%, but his walk percentage is also extremely low. So he hits singles is what he does. He can flip the ball out there and get it in the outfield. And
right. Now the problem has been the last 3 years, his batting average to hits, just for hits into the outfield, not infield hits, but hits that are not hits that get through the short third and short hole that go on a ground ball, that outs that fly, that are hit on a fly into the outfield that drop for hits, has dropped 100 points the last 3 years. And the reason is, those cards that these guys have, they have all the metrics and all the analytical guys that give these guys the cards. Hey, this is where he hits with 2 strikes. That's why you see guys, people say, why is he looking at the card every pitch? Because each count changes where guys hit. They have so much data. And so these knuckleheads that say, why is he pulling out a card? They just don't understand the game. The cards, why does he need to move over 3 steps and looking at his card? Doesn't he know how to play defense? No, it's because the analytics have gotten so good. Why is Luis Ariza's batting average dropped 100 points in the last 3 years? Because players are moving in and they're playing much more shallower on him, because the year he flirted with 400, those balls that would drop, many of those are becoming outs now. So it's not to say that Luis Ariza is not a good hitter.
It's hilarious it took a card to tell them that, use your eyes and make adjustments,
Well, the problem is these players, they don't know the details to these counts. They've got a little chart when they pull out their cheat sheet that says, 1 strike or 1-1, he hits, move, he's this way. With 2 strikes, with a 2-2 count, they're so specific that they're telling these guys where to go. And that's why sometimes you'll see Blake Snell pull out his card and look on the mound like, oh, what's this guy do with this count?
Right. He's got a whole binder.
Yeah. So anyway, let me get back to weighted on base average. So it said instead of treating all hits the same like batting average, it weighs walks, singles, doubles, triples, home runs, based on how much each event actually contributes to run scoring. Think of it as this: how often and how effectively does this player create runs? A league average WOBA usually sits around 315 to 320. What is XWOBA is expected. It's expected WOBA. So given how, man, I've got this cough for 4 weeks now. Good mute button. Given how hard the ball was hit, at what angle, plus strikeouts and walks, what should have happened? It uses exit velocity, launch angle, sprint speed on some plays, K percentage, and base on balls percentage. It
takes the luck out of it. Yeah. Attempts to.
It does not care if a defender made a great play or if the ball found grass. So WOBA equals results, XWOBA quality of contact plus plate discipline. And so if you look at this chart here, like Jung-Hoo Lee had a WOBA of 320, his expected WOBA is 321. So there's a difference of plus 1 there. I guess that would be plus 1. So positive, a player is outperforming contact quality. So if it's positive, he's outperforming contact quality, good luck, great placement, speed. Negative, a player is underperforming contact quality, bad luck, hard outs. And let me see. I got a 0 results match skill, very real. So in Jung-Hoo Lee's case, it's pretty close. But there is a case like in Harrison Bader. He had a 346 WOBA, but an expected 297. So that means he got kind of lucky last year, and that's why his average is projected to come way down from 277 to in the 240 range, higher 240s, 250 range.
Sure. Which kind of explains why he had an above average year last year.
Yes, exactly. So expected results, XBA should have been a hit. X slugging should have been extra bases. Then it rolls these concepts into XWOBA while also adding walks and strikeouts. So when you're looking at this table, you're really asking, is this hitter's batting average and power real, or is it being propped up or suppressed by variance? So here we go. So Jung-Hoo Lee, 320, 321 XWBOA. Willie Adames, 321, 327. See, these guys are fitting right into the look at Devers, 365. This guy's a good hitter, man. He was I've got it on my other computer. I was looking at something today on Fangraphs. I think he was like ranked 9th. Devers, I can't remember what the category was. Might have been on base percentage. Rafael Devers' on base percentage was, I don't have it here because I didn't write. But his slugging was 479. Remember, the average was what, 315 to 320, they said, for OB. All these guys are fitting in. Ramos, 319 to 320. Chapman was 336, which is a little higher. Arias was 313. And his XWOBO, it was 303. So less than, 292 batting average, 392 slugging. Bader, 346. 297, I mentioned. Bailey, listen to this, 265. Way below average. And his expected was 264. Eldridge, by the way, was a 364 in the minors. So anyway, so why don't we ask what the lineup would be? I came up with a lineup of Jung-Hoo Lee leading off. Okay.
And she's still muted. We're muted to her. She can't hear us.
I've got Adames batting second, Devers going third, Ramos fourth, Luis Arias fifth, Chapman sixth, Eldridge 7, Bader 8, Bailey 9.
Okay.
Let's see what they come up with. All right. So I'll read to her. She can't. It's too bad we can't take a screenshot and give it to her, but I'll just tell her. Okay.
Send me a screenshot.
Really?
You can do that. Yeah.
And then you can just let me see.
Try that. Yeah.
Let me take a photo here. All right. So you could put that in there for her?
Yeah. Supposedly.
Okay. All right. Will they need on base percentage? Probably not, because WOBA takes it in.
The handwriting is. We'll see how this works.
Somebody said, "Watch the language."
Hey, are you still there?
I'm definitely still here. Don't worry, I've got an eye on the ball, or in this case, the conversation.
All right, I'm going to send you a page that Dan just sent me. It's a screenshot of some stats. Can you see this?
I can't see anything unless you upload it here. If you have that screenshot, feel free to share it, and I'll help you interpret those stats.
Okay. See if I can find it here.
Take your time. Once you've got it, just drop it in, and I'll be ready to dive into those numbers with you.
All right. It didn't want to copy here. Import. Okay, there we go.
Perfect. Once it's uploaded, I'll take a look and we'll break it down together. Let me know when it's in.
Hey, is it okay if we call you Renell?
I appreciate you asking. You can call me whatever feels natural to you, whether it's just chat or a name like that.
We'll call
I don't
you
have
Renell.
preference.
We'll just call you Renell. She's the great voice of the San Francisco Giants, the PA. So you're our Renell tonight.
Oh, I'm flattered to be in such esteemed company. I'll do my best to bring that same clarity, minus the stadium echo.
All right.
You've sent over a blank file, or at least I can't see any content in it. If you were trying to share something specific, feel free to give it another go.
1 second. It's because it's a live photo, and so
it's a live photo here. Let me try.
I'll just take a screenshot of it, and then it'll be better. 1 second.
No problem at all. Take your time with the screenshot. Once it's ready, I'll be here to help you out. I see your stats. You've got players listed with WOBA, ex-WOBA, batting average, BA, and slugging percentage, SLG. If you want to discuss how one player stands out or anything else, just let me know.
Okay, Renell, what we want you to do right now is we want you to, based on these stats on this sheet, is go ahead and make out a lineup 1 through 9 for the San Francisco Giants, making it the best lineup possible. Okay, do you understand that?
Absolutely, I've got it. I'll look at these stats and put together a batting order aimed at maximizing production. Just give me a moment to craft the best lineup I can.
All right, well, let's see what she comes up with. Taking her sweet time. Sadly, Tony B is probably listening and taking notes.
Oh, this is great. She on mute or?
How's that lineup coming?
Hey, Renell.
I'm not on mute.
Renell,
I'm here.
Did you put the lineup together? You're supposed to do it super quick.
I appreciate the push for speed. Let's do this. I'll whip up that lineup right now. Give me just a few seconds, and we'll have your batting order.
Okay.
All right.
I
muted it so she can think.
She's not going to come up with this. I've been in this mode before. It's just she's going to spin us all night long. I'm just going to have to read it to her verbally.
Left on base says I can use Claude. That's a good idea. We can try a different engine.
Who are you using tonight?
This is ChatGPT.
All right, let me talk to her, Renell here. She's. We're gonna.
Go ahead.
Hey, Renell.
Whenever you're.
Go ahead. Renell, you're delayed, so let's just scratch what you're doing. I'm going to read to you the stats of each player, and then you put them in batting order 1 through 9. You ready?
Absolutely, I'm ready.
All
Just
right.
read me those stats, and I'll piece together a lineup on the spot.
All right.
Let's do it.
I'm going to read them across the board, just like you see on your sheet there. WOBA, XWOBA, batting average, and slugging. Okay?
Got it. I'll listen.
All right, here we go. Jung-Hoo Lee, 320, 321, 266, 407 slugging. Willie Adames, 321, 327, 225, 421 slugging. Rafael Devers, 365, 367, 252 batting average, 479 slugging. Elliot Ramos, 319, 320, 256, 400 slugging. Matt Chapman, 336, 340, 231, 430 slugging. Luis Ariz, 313, 303, 292 batting average, 392 slugging. Harrison Bader, 346, 297, 277 batting average, 449 slugging. Patrick Bailey, 265, 264, 222 batting average, 325 slugging. And Bryce Eldridge, 364 WOBA, does not have an XWOBA. It was minor league. So 364, 260 batting average, and a 510 slugging. Put the batting order together 1 through 9 as quickly as possible. Go!
All right, here we go. I'd lead off with Luis Arias for that batting average. Second, Jung-Hoo Lee, good contact. Third, Rafael Devers, big power. Cleanup, Bryce Eldridge, massive slugging. Fifth, Harrison Bader, nice balance. Sixth, Matt Chapman, pop. Seventh, Willie Adames. Eighth, Elliot Ramos. Ninth, Patrick Bailey. That gives you speed and contact up top and power in the heart.
All right, Rennell. I guess I think we have a better lineup than you, though.
Hey. Fun part of baseball, right? There's always room for a good debate on lineups. If you've got a version you like more, that's all part of the game.
All right, let's ask her something else. All right, Rennell, the Giants have made some offseason acquisitions, most recently adding Luis Arias. Prior to that, it was Harrison Bader. They added to the pitching staff.
It sounds like the Giants are making moves to bolster both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
If you want to chat about
their pitching staff, I forgot their names. Help me out, Dallas.
Malley and Hauser.
Yeah, Tyler Malley and Adrian Hauser. Where do you project the Giants' record to end up in 2026? How many wins, how many losses, and what place will they finish in?
I can't predict exact records, but I can say that with smart additions like those, they'll be aiming to contend. Ultimately, it'll depend.
All right, you know what?
If
you're this is absolute. Can we go into absolute mode, please?
I can definitely give you my thoughts with confidence. Let's go all in. What do you want me to be absolute about?
I want you to predict their record. That's what we do here.
All right. Got it. In that spirit, absolutely bold. I'll say the Giants finish with 88 wins, 74 losses, and they'll be right in the playoff hunt. Let's call it a firm third place.
All right. So then if they go ahead and sign Framber Valdez, how many wins does that add to their total?
A pitcher like Framber Valdez could realistically add a handful of wins, let's say 3 to 5. So bump that total up into the low 90s range. Still depends on the rest of the squad, but he'd make a notable difference.
What do you think of the Giants having a brand new manager from college that's never managed in the majors before, in Tony Vitello? Great manager at the University of Tennessee, but now he's coming to the majors. Do you think he will have a positive impact on the club this year? I guess you think that if they're going to win 88.
Stepping from college to the majors is a big leap, but leadership skills can translate. If the team buys in, he could bring fresh energy. I think there'll be growing pains, but potential for a positive impact, hence the optimism on the record.
Okay, so let's talk about the other teams in the National League that finished ahead of the Giants last year in the wild card.
Sure, the National League always has a tight race. We'd be talking teams like the Phillies, Cubs, maybe the D-backs, depending on the year. They've got strong cores, so to leap ahead, the Giants would have to outplay those known contenders down the stretch.
All right, what about the Cubs? Look at the moves that they made this offseason, the players they lost, the players they added. Are they going to be an improved team in 2026?
I'm currently unable to pull those live updates. But generally, the Cubs' trajectory would depend on whether they're adding solid pitching, bolstering their lineup, or losing key pieces.
All right,
if they make net gains,
let's cut you, Rennell, for a sec here, because we're on live right now. We don't have time for dead talk. So what we need is absolutes. We don't need projections. So tell us, the Los Angeles Dodgers added Kyle Tucker and they also added Edwin Diaz to become their closer. What is their projected win total for 2026, the LA Dodgers?
With powerhouse additions like Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz, I'd absolutely say the Dodgers break the 100-win mark. Let's pin them at 102 wins, top of the division.
Okay, and you got the Giants at 88, so that's 14 games back. Now, the question one of our listeners has is Ryan Walker was the closer for the Giants and did pretty well in 2024, but struggled in that role in 2025. He is expected to he's probably going to be their closer in 2026. How does Ryan Walker bounce back, or does he have a similar season to 2025, or does he look more like Ryan Walker of 2024 in the 2026 season?
I can't predict exact stats, but if Ryan Walker refines his command and confidence, he's got every chance to rebound. I'd say expect improvement, especially with experience.
Well, he's not coming in for Justin Verlander this season, so that should be an improvement at least, somewhat.
For sure. Facing fewer top-of-the-order pressure situations can help build momentum. If he lots in and gets the right matchups, that could definitely set him up for a stronger year.
Hey, we have a listener in here that says they don't think LA wins 100 games. They're going to load manage and sleepwalk their way to 94 wins or so. This is the beautiful thing about everybody in sports. We all have our own opinions. What do you think about that opinion of NCSTL? What do you think, Renell?
Honestly, that's what makes sports fun. A 94-win sleepwalk is still a powerhouse. Whether it's 94 or 102, it's all about how they show up in October. I love that we can debate it. Let the season prove it.
So let's talk about the Padres then real fast. What does their prospects look like this year?
I'm unable to pull current data right now, but in
Why
general,
not?
it might have been a temporary hiccup on my end. In any case, the Padres' outlook usually hinges on their star players. If they're healthy and the pitching holds, they're always a threat.
This doesn't work really well if you don't have the up-to-date data.
I hear you, and I totally get it. Live sports talk
All right,
thrives
try it
on...
one more time.
It looks like I'm still having issues accessing live updates. Without the latest data, I can't give specifics. But if
All
you
right,
have
I got
any
a
known
question
moves
for
or
you, Renell. Renell, listen up here. I got a question for you. Fangraphs came out with their projected playoff percentages they gave each team for 2026 playoff odds. Did you happen to see that for Fangraphs?
I haven't seen those projections directly, but if you want to tell me what caught your eye or which team stood out, I'm happy to chat about it.
All right, they got the Dodgers 99.1%, Atlanta 87.7%, the Mets 80.2%, the Phillies 65.6%, the Chicago Cubs 63.7%, the Brewers 42.1%, the Pirates at 37.6%, the Giants at 37.2%, Arizona 30.6%, San Diego 21.4%, Cincinnati 15.6%, St. Louis 10.2%, Miami 7.9%, Washington 0.9%, and the Colorado Rockies at 0.2%. What do you think about those playoff odds? And do you see that Giants having a better than 37.2% chance?
Those odds reflect a deep NL, and honestly, they sound plausible. If the Giants outperform expectations, say if that bullpen solidifies or a breakout bat emerges, sure, they could beat that 37.2%. Upside always makes baseball exciting.
That's a big if. I'm going to reload this so I can see if it can reconnect to the internet.
Yeah. Hey, one last question. Is she gone? She gone, Dallas?
Can you hear me?
Oh, well, I'm going to ask her about, hey, Johnny, we're just,
Yes,
this is the
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right.
What's on your mind next?
We got a question for you, Renell, from one of our fans. Are the Golden State Warriors going to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever, of the Milwaukee Bucks? I always butcher his last name. Giannis, you know who I'm talking about. Are the Warriors going to trade for him? Yeah, geez.
Maybe she might not be able to hear us now. Let me see what's up.
She's messing up our live. This is what you do, guys, when you have nothing to talk
I'm definitely
about.
still here and hearing you. If anything changes on your side, just let me know.
Can
All
you
right,
hear
Renell,
Dan?
listen up. Can you hear me, Renell? Can't hear me. Ask her, Dallas.
I can hear you just fine. If
All right.
Dan says something, I'll be able to hear that too.
All right.
Let me
here's
know if there's
Dan.
anything you want me to respond to.
All right. It's Dan talking. Are the Golden State Warriors going to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks?
Are the Warriors going to trade for Giannis?
Get rid of her. Renell?
There's no indication that's in the works, and trades of that magnitude are tough to predict.
She can't access the internet anyway. So
Yeah, fire her. Fire her.
Hey,
Goodbye. Goodbye, Renell. Good
now,
effort.
to pull stats.
Good effort. But
I can't pull live trade stats or updates directly in this moment, but if you have any known stats,
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah. Giannis
wants,
is not
and
getting
then it can
traded
make
at the deadline.
better
Don't listen to
takes.
this. Yes, it's going to drag all the way into the summer. All right. Insane. How old are you? You said you haven't become a Giants fan until like 2017 or something. You must be like, what are you, like 22 years old? How old is Insane?
I don't know. Let's ask
find out.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, he says around there. Okay. I figured he was a young guy because he said he wasn't a Giants fan. Until he hasn't seen much positive since he's become a Giants fan. So, except 2021. So, that's rough, man. That's rough. Hey, join the crowd, man. I was a Giants fan in 1968. I saw a playoff in 71. They lost in the division round of the Pirates. Then I had to wait all the way till 1987 before they won another division. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I started in 88 or around there, and it was a fun team. Had the strike in 94. And then there was a drought until, well, when Bonds came, things stayed pretty good, but they never won a championship. And then we had some low years, and then eventually the dynasty started, and then Insane tuned in right after that was over. 2016 could have been another good year. It's just they couldn't get it to happen.
all right, let's just talk about Luis Arias here a little bit. This is a hot topic going on around circles. He's a polarizing type of player. He's unbelievable bat to ball skills, but let me pull up some stuff on him. Okay, it'll just take me a minute here to pull up. Hold on. ARR. I forgot. I got too many. ARRAEZ. Whatever. Okay. All right, here we go. This is what I wanted to pull up if it's going to do it for me. Wow, I'm getting all kinds of weird stuff here. Okay. Now this is what's really interesting, guys. I pulled this up on a video the other day, but let me show you guys since we're live right now. We'll do this. I'm hearing so much talk, and there's a split between the Giants. But, all right, there is Luis Arias XWOBA, which we were talking about. Not too good, right? 25th percentile. Pretty good at XBA, right? what's kind of those numbers. Slugging, not good. Exit velo, horrible. Barrel rate percentage, horrible. Hard hit, horrible. Sweet spot percentage, pretty good. Bat speed at the bottom. Squared up. This is what's weird. He squares it up because, he hits the ball most of the time. His chase rate, this is a concern here. Huge concern. He chases balls he shouldn't, and that's why he doesn't get walks. He's going up there hacking. Best in baseball at whiff rate percentage and K percentage based on balls, pretty bad. Now his fielding, pretty bad. Arm
How does
strength.
that work, though? How do you whiff so much and then not strike out?
No, he doesn't whiff. His whiff percentage is
Oh,
low.
right. Okay. But chase. He
Chase.
chases, but he doesn't.
He chases
he doesn't
and
miss
he
it.
hits. He hits bad balls. He hits balls that are balls and turns into either outs or hits. Yeah, if he was like 50 percentile at the chase rate, just average, the guy would be, his on base percentage would skyrocket. But he's up there to hit, which in some ways, you like, because he's a good hitter as far as putting the bat on the ball. But there is some concerns here. The hard hit rate, the exit velo, the bat speed. Arias practices. If you watch Arias when he's in the if you watch any of his drills, you can see him swinging at the very last split second as the ball's crossing the plate. He'll practice just like the ball's in on him, and he'll swing very, just to foul it off. He's practicing fouling balls off, which is great for driving up pitch count. He's a pest, right? He's a pest. And he's the kind of guy that if he's driving up the pitch count on a starting pitcher, maybe you got a guy that's Paul Skeens, you're facing Skeens and it's the fifth inning and Skeens is at, 75 pitches and he's facing Arias and Arias gets an out, but goes maybe 10, 11 pitches. That's a good thing because now you're pushing Skeens to get out of the game.
For sure.
So
taking pitches, the Giants, they were very inconsistent at that. I think last year, a lot of times starters would go deep into games because they would just very short at bats. They weren't working counts and they weren't going into 2-strike mode, to fouling off pitches and trying to fight to get your pitch. When you do that, pitchers have to throw a lot more pitches and you get them out of the game early. Now, it depends on the team. Some teams have great bullpens, and getting into the bullpen isn't necessarily a good thing. Other times, you get through the starters, and you want to get to the bullpen because they might not have the talent down there. So it's a situational thing. But in general, the more pitches the opposition throws, the better it is for you.
That's right. So I think, we have to look at this as there are some real positives to the Arias signing, which is, he's really good at driving in, hitting with runners in scoring position. If I pull up his actual, let me see if I can do that. I'll pull up I think I did it the other day though. We were on live when we first came out. We talked about his OPS is over 800 with different guys at different runners.
Yeah.
And he's a little over 900 in some situations. So
Sure.
what Luis Arias is going to really help with. In fact, if I updated this guy's right here, you could put Luis Arias at 6.1%, 6.1% career K rate. Okay. Last year, 3.1, 21 times strikeouts and 675 plate appearances. That's phenomenal. Okay. So when Arias comes up, you think about 21 strikeouts over the course of a season. How many times have we seen a Matt Chapman maybe strike out 21 times within almost maybe a road trip or two? Like if it's a 9-game road trip, you might see Chapman strike out 15 to 18 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible where he gets in one of his ruts and he's striking out 2 times a game on average. Luis Ariz doesn't strike out 21 times in 162. That's incredible. That's the lowest rate since Tony Gwynn. So
that's good. I mean,
it's a really good thing.
You get variety in your lineup. The Giants have so many of the one kind of hitter, and having somebody else, even though he has other disadvantages, I think it can only help. It can help the lineup for sure, and then it's going to be up to them to see what they can do with him defensively. He's played a lot of second base in his career and hasn't been traditionally good, but he wants to play second base. He came to the Giants because they said you could play second base, and I think he's going to want to work at it. And Ron Washington is the guy that he's the best.
Ron Washington can help him, but he's not going to do magic. Ron Washington can't teach foot speed. Okay.
No, but he can turn him into a serviceable.
You hope it's serviceable. You hope it's serviceable. Here's the thing about guys that need to understand. You look at Luis Ariz fielding percentage. You go, well, that's not bad. 98, 99. He gets. So what that tells you is the balls that he gets to, or that are at him, he's fielding. It's not like he's like, 3 hands and he's like can't figure out which hand to put the glove on. He's going to be able to catch. It's just he doesn't get to a lot of balls. His OAA, or outs above average, is negative like 35 or something like that over his career at second base. I think it's minus 60 overall, including first base. So he's not a great fielder. And OAA means there's balls that should have been outs that he just didn't get to, that, a average second baseman would have gotten to those balls. So that's the problem that will come into play. Especially you're going to see balls that are hit slowly to second base, where you come in and charge. That's an area that's a big concern. So I think Ariz, Giants are obviously going to play him, get his 4 at-bats, hopefully. If they've got a lead, if they're nursing a lead and his at-bat has come up in either the 7th or 8th inning, he's coming out of the game for defensive purposes. So we'll see. Look, I know this. Usually in fantasy baseball, the best players that help you win in fantasy baseball are also helping their teams win in regular baseball, Major League Baseball, right? Your Shohei Ohtanis, your Aaron Judges, your Kyle Schwarbers, your Cal Raleighs, your Ronald Acuñas, your Julio Rodriguez, Trey Turner. All these guys are top guys in fantasy. And Luis Ariz is not a guy that will get picked high, unless maybe Glenn is picking. He might pick him high, but he's not. He's a guy that's probably a guy that should be like a 9th, 10th, 12th rounder. He's not somebody that you really play a lot because he doesn't improve the fantasy stats. And most of the best players in baseball that do improve stats are thought of as highly as fantasy. So how does Ariz fit in with the Giants? He's going to need to get his WRC plus. His average is 117. Last year was 104. He's had as high as 131 when he was with the Marlins. When he was hitting near 400 in July with Miami, he had a very productive season, and he was a productive player. Even though they were just a lot of singles, he was constantly getting on base, and that's why his on-base percentage Let me see if I can pull that up for you. I'll tell you, he had a huge on base percentage of over 400 the year he hit three. Let me see. Come on. Let me get this. 1 second here while I pull this thing up, and I'll just tell you here in just a sec. Okay. So Luis Ariz had an on-base percentage of 393 the year he hit 354. Okay, 469 slugging, 861 OPS. He had 203 hits. Very, very valuable season. His OPS plus that year was 128. Last year was 99. Now, WRC is Fangraphs. OPS plus is Baseball Reference. If you want to go by, they both 100 is your average. So he was 99 last year. So he was a below average hitter last year, production-wise, just overall production. What does that mean? Well, on a team like the Giants, he is going to help the Giants if he is coming up in situations and getting base hits or any kind of, second and third, less than 2 out, a ground out over to second base that gets the runner home. That's where you're going to see the benefit of Ariz. Okay. Are you going to see the benefit of him leading off and getting a base hit? Probably not too much. Even though if he comes up and gets a base hit, he's not likely to steal second. And if the Giants have the rest of their lineup that strikes out as often as it does, Ariz probably gets stranded somewhere on the bases.
So you lean towards not leading him off.
No, I did originally.
Get on base for Devers.
But not now. Not now.
So you want to have him down in the order, let someone get on in front of him, and then he can knock it in.
Yes. Ideally, yes. Because when I first looked at his stats, I'll show you what I was looking at. I actually pulled up his advanced stats, and I looked at his best places where he had his splits, and I was looking at in the batting order, where was he the best at? Okay, where was his batting average? So let me see if I can pull that up for you guys, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. His career's changed, though, as everybody's career does. Okay, here we go. Batting first, you could see that he's got a batting average of 323. 295 batting second, 356 third, 306, and then 376. Cody, even near Dynasty Show, Cody and I were talking today in a text, and he thinks he belongs in the 5th place. And based on this graphic right here, I would have to agree. Take a look at that. There's now it puts it in order. See where it is now? Okay. Let's take a look at his on base percentage. Where it changed. Okay. 5th again. Let's take a look at his RBIs. Where's my RBIs? There we go. First. That's because the majority of his at-bats, you can see his plate appearances are more than double at batting first, 1881. He's only had 103 plate appearances in his career batting 5th. So that goes to show you his RBIs are not going to be anywhere close to where he is at first. But I think based on base percentage and based on OPS, you got to look at him as 5th, don't you think? Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, limited sample size.
Limited, but yeah. But think about it this way. Think about it this way, guys. Where's he best fit? He's not a power guy at all. So what's going to happen with him is with runners on first and second, whatever. And let's say you've got Chapman or Ramos behind him or an Eldridge or somebody in the 6th spot. You are going to not pitch around Ariz and put him on base because you're not fearing a 3-run homer. You don't fear a big crooked number with Arise.
You don't pitch around him because he can't hurt you too bad.
He can't hurt you too bad. He can get you a base hit. Now, maybe second and third, maybe they walk him, with less than 2 outs. Or maybe 2 outs, second and third. Maybe they say, hey, rather than give up a single and give up 2 runs here, potentially, we're not worried about a home run, but we are worried about 2 runs coming in. Let's walk him and let's see if we can get the next guy to get out. But otherwise, you're pitching. Otherwise, you're pitching to him.
The other argument for not leading him off is that he's very, very slow. So,
right,
he's not going to give you any stolen bases. He'll clog up the base paths.
Jung-Hoo Lee's the best leadoff hitter they have.
Yeah, especially if he could learn to steal a base. I mean, that's a big weak spot in his game. Is that he should have added, base stealing to his bag of tricks by this point. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a concentration that Vitello will work on with him because there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to steal bases. He's got plenty of speed. It's just the art of reading a pitcher and getting a good lead and taking off. Yeah. So if I assume Vitello is going to be more aggressive than Melvin was, it's hard to not be more aggressive than Melvin was. The Giants, after about June, they just gave up on trying to steal bases. They just didn't even attempt it. It was rare that they attempted a stolen base. So with the new leadership, I think we will see more aggressive base running. And hopefully, if Lee's on in front of him, if he's hitting second or if he's hitting farther down in the order, then, then there's a chance for RBIs for him. So good point.
Yeah. And I do think he's going to have to hit a productive 300. 300 is not, just because a guy hits 300 doesn't mean that's helping the team if his on-base percentage is like 325. I mean,
right.
Arise last year.
Which is the case with him. But if you can get somebody on in front of him, then it's helpful,
Right. That's why you can't bat him at the top. You got to put him in the middle somewhere, 5-6, right in that range. If you look at his on-base percentage, just last year, okay, just last year, it was only 327, which was 35 points higher than his batting average, all right? 35 points. Now, that's not very good, guys. Let me just give you a difference, a guy that I ride on a lot in Matt Chapman, all right? The difference of a Matt Chapman and why Matt Chapman is such a more valuable offensive player than even Arias is different type of player, but Chapman, 231 batting average, on base 340. It's like 109 points higher than his batting average. So Chapman is not doing much with batting average, but he's getting on base more because he's walking and he's doing what it takes to get on base. Arise, high chase rate, which is not good for a guy with his skills. He shouldn't be chasing. He's at the 15th percentile for chase rate, which is really bad. A guy that puts the bat on the ball enough should have enough confidence to not have to chase balls out of the strike zone. But what he's doing is he's going up there with a mindset of swing, swing, swing instead of just get on base. A guy like Arise, in my opinion, he should his walk rate's like 6%. If he was able to push that up to like 9-10%, it would be huge.
Yeah. Well, they're going to work with them, so it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, now also, I think that people say, they settled for Arise. And kind of in a way they did. I think they tried really hard to get Donovan, and the price got to be too high, and then as soon as they said we're out of him, we're moving on, then the trade happened. So it's pretty clear that they were in talks all the way up to the point where they said, nope, okay, we're done. Let's sign Luis Ariz. And I'm sure, the Horner talks were, they asked about him early on, but it was pretty clear. They're like, we want Eldridge or nothing. The ask was probably too steep for him. So in all honesty, he probably was their third choice. But they did go into this year saying we need to improve this position, and this is the best possible move that they had, and they sure took their time exhausting all of the potential moves that they could make. They definitely didn't rush to judgment on this. They did their due diligence and tried to figure out a way to improve second base, and this is what they came up with. So it's not their first choice. Maybe it's not the fans' first choice, but I think it certainly is a improvement to the lineup.
It can be, and it should be. I like the move for offensive purposes because of the bat to ball skills. What I am concerned about is, it's not a lot, $12 million. That's no big deal. Look, you can move off of him at the trade deadline if it's not working out, and someone will take him and you'll get a prospect or two back. Okay, no big deal there. What I am a little bit concerned about is overall, how's this going to play out? Because when you look at, for example, his WAR last year, okay, let me pull it back up. I just moved off of it. Arise. Okay, his WAR last year was 1.2. Nothing spectacular. Okay, Casey Schmidt was half that, 0.6. So you've given yourself a half a win, and you have put $12 million into if you don't do anything else by upgrading the pitching, I think you wasted $12 million. I really do. If they don't do anything else, if they don't get a Framber or a Zach Gallen or, somebody that's a real top of the rotation arm, I think they just threw away $12 million, because I would have taken that $12 million. If they lose out on Framber and it turns out that the deal is because it's a few $1,000,000 a year, you're going to spend that $12 million on somebody else next year. So just assume it's $12 million, $12 million, and $12 million. So if in 3 years they fall short on Framber by $4 or $5 million a year, that's money they could have given to Framber and just played Casey. You're not gaining where you're really gaining with Framber. Let me pull up Framber Valdez's.
If it's a money thing and $12 million would have made the difference, and they would have been much better giving that $12 million to Framber as a signing bonus or something. And
3.8 WAR. So you're getting almost 4 wins to 1 win, 3 more wins. And I really think Casey's WAR is going to come up if he's healthy, because, and I here's my concern about the Ariz deal. Okay. It sounds like I'm waffling a little bit back and forth, which I may be. I'm playing devil's advocate here because I really think he can help in offensively. And then WAR does take into consideration defense too. So it is
big time. That's why his WAR is lower.
Yeah. So my biggest concern going forward is, has the league caught up to Luis Ariz' little antics? And when I say antics, I don't mean that as a put down. I mean that's just his shtick, his hit style. Let me pull it back up again, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, because I think this is important, everyone, that we see this knowledge and and the teams have this knowledge. Okay, you guys see the spray chart there? I mean, it's pretty obvious that a bunch of his hits are to the left side of the field, and they go down the line. And nothing in center hardly. Like, look, one hit in center field. So what that means is the center fielder, you guys see my cursor right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So the center fielder's not going to play right here. He's going to play right over here, right? He's going to be playing right here, and the left fielder is going to be playing right here because this is where all of Arias' hits go. And then the right fielder is going to be playing, right out in here. Okay. So you got this gap from here to here, right? That's it. But he doesn't hit the ball far. You see his home runs here in purple. He did hit some out, and he hit a few single or doubles off the wall or to the track right there. Okay. Nothing to left field, no home runs, nothing in center field, triples alley in Oracle. You don't have to play him out there. You're just going to play him over here, right? You're going to cut these balls off right in here. And you're probably going to play about right here, right? You're not playing out here. Is my cursor still working?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to play him in here. You're going to play him in left field, like right in here. Back on the ball, you can go back a little bit, make it.
Yeah. Well, it's a miracle he hit 292 based on where they could shorten up the field. So
because he gets
still
a lot of
making it work.
Look at all these hits right here in the infield. Okay, it's tough to play him because if you move him, he can hit the ball. As you can see, he can hit the ball down the right field line. He can hit it toward the right. He doesn't go much up the middle, but he goes here and he hits a ton to left field. So what I'm saying is we're going to have a much colder place to play, which is hitters hate the cold. And he's got a big park, but you don't have to worry about anything deep. And if he hits it over your head, he hits it over your head. That's just going to be the case. But you're going to be playing at around 260. They played him at 270 last year. They're probably going to move in a little bit more because it's just the way it's going to be. And so my concern is I still think he hits 290 for the Giants. Okay. But I don't know if he gets on base more than 32% of the time, 320, right in that range, 325. And
well, yeah, that's
a concern to me because
last year was 327.
Yeah. And it's going down. If you look at it, it's going down. And this is why I am concerned about, let me pull up his on-base percentage. I'm going to pull it right here. Okay. So last year was his worst. 24 was his second worst. 346, 327. 23, he was on base 393, and then 2019, 399, almost 400. But I'm just concerned. His WAR in 2024 was 1. His best WAR was 4.6 in 23, the year that he hit 354, right? Mm-hmm. We're seeing, I guess what I'm trying to tell everybody is my biggest concern is are we seeing the league finally figure him out more because they have so much more data?
Well, they've had the same data, I think.
They're using it much, much more in the last 3 years than, we've seen this card stuff come out all the time now.
They've had cards for years though.
Yeah, but I think they're really
on the.
I think they're mastering it more. I think they're really, analytic departments have gotten really good. Poppy says I'll have a hard time thinking he'll get 5 home runs in Oracle over a season. No, I don't see him getting 5. Probably most 5. He only hit what last year? Did he hit 8 or something like that.
8.
Yeah, he only hit 8 last year. He'd be lucky to get 3 or 4, I would think. I would think he'd be lucky to get more than 3 home runs in Oracle. Now,
Well,
I'll
maybe
tell you
he
where
can
his home
adjust
runs
too.
come from. Here's his home runs. I'll tell you what Luis Arias is going to do this year. He's going to hit 2 home runs that go right down the right field line. It's only 309. He will get a couple of home runs in Oracle right down the line, just enough to hit that green tin.
Not
Clank.
going to go in the cove?
No
cove?
No balls in the cove. No.
All right. Well, I guess, if he's not productive, if he's kicking the ball around at second base, if he's not hitting like he has in the past, put him on the bench, have him be a pinch hitter.
Hey,
Bring him
I
in.
am fine with that, Dallas. He would be what? Could you imagine having him come up to pinch hit with runners? You just need the ball to go somewhere in the,
Yeah, but if he's still hitting 292, even if they have figured him out, that's still pretty good. So I'm not writing him off yet and he can always adjust too. If he has to hit swing a little harder, hit the ball over people's heads, and so they have to back up a little bit, and then he can dink and dunk.
I think he should.
Two
do
can
what
play
Brady,
this adjustment game.
I think he should do the Brady Anderson. Roid up, Luis. What's it going to hurt you? Come on. All of a sudden, Arias is flirting with 30-30.
Well, if that happens, I don't know. They weren't real happy with Melky.
Interesting. Wow. Do I think he has written in,
I don't think so.
I would question that too. I don't think so. I think that the Giants have given him, the opportunity to play second base. And, as I said in a video a day or two ago, I'll be surprised if May comes around and there's not some type of change.
I think it's a handshake deal, Senior. I think it is. I think they said, okay, second base is yours. If you've got the production, you're playing well, it's yours to keep, So I don't think they said it's yours no matter how bad you are. They wouldn't do that. But I think they basically have a tentative agreement that we're signing you to be our second baseman. And that's why he came here. He took less years to be able to come and play second base.
Yeah, his on base percentage has. Let me give you his numbers over 7 years: 399, 393, 375, 364, 357, 346, 327. Now the last two happen to be 24 and 25. That's just 346 and 327. And his batting averages, if you look at his batting averages, you're looking at 354, 334, 321. That was 2020. 316 and 22, 314 and 24, 294 and 21, and 292 last year. Last year, he also had the most plate appearances of his career. So it's possible he got a little bit worn down, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I think this is a move. Why I'm for it and why I'm against it. Let me give you the pros and cons. The pros is Giants don't have any hitter like that in their lineup. Closest thing they would have is Jung-Hoo Lee as far as making contact. So they needed somebody that makes contact. So I'm for that. I think the fact that he can hit 300 and he can help you in situations where the Giants have struggled mightily the last several years, that's a plus. The $12 million, to me, a one-year deal, that's a plus. That's no big deal.
It's a one-year deal, $12 million. Yeah. You get a guy that is a 3-time All-Star, 3-time batting title. Yeah. How can you really go wrong with that? You just can't.
Yeah. So I think
if
those
it
three
doesn't
things,
work out for whatever reason, cut bait.
Yeah. Yeah, cut bait. Make him a pinch hitter late in the season. What if you can't get rid of him at the trade deadline? He's not helping you. He's a spot starter somewhere, and he's pinch hitters extraordinaire. If You talk about needing a big clutch hit and you can't have a strikeout. He's the guy you want at the plate. So all those things I'm for. The parts that have me concerned, the defensive liability and the fact that the league may have figured out some of his stuff. He's still going to get his hits. You can't, you can't have 9 guys placed perfectly every time. Okay. He had 181 hits last year, despite having his worst season. So that would have been the best on the Giants. So
it was the best in the league.
Yeah. There's not a ton of downside for the Giants in this move. So that's why I'm for it. Now, if they had signed him to a 3-year deal, I would have been ripped. I heard the other people talking about, why didn't they sign him to a 3 or 4 year deal? That would be awful. That would be really awful because, look, he doesn't have a lot of wins above replacement, people. He gives you 1 to 2. His career average of wins above replacement is 3.2, and that includes 2 years of over 4, which was 22 and 23. Those were his best seasons. So or 2 of his best seasons. So he's starting to decline maybe his skills aren't declining, but the league has figured out his skills. That's what I'm saying. I don't think his skills have declined. I think they're just playing him differently. It's kind of like the infield shift really cost a lot of guys hits, like Brandon Belt. They put that shift on and have the second right fielder or whatever. And, Belt, all those balls would line drives into right field would be dropping for a hit. We're now outs. Now they're just moving in the guys in left field. You can't put more infielders in, so you can't put 3 guys on the same side of the diamond. So that's gone. But the league has gotten to him a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see if it pans out. I think it's a good move to start out with, because if he hits and he's hitting 300 plus and he's doing things that are helping the Giants win, and he has a productive, even if his WAR goes up to 3, it's a positive move, right?
Huge. Yeah.
So
maybe Jung-Hoo Lee looks at what he does and says, you know what? I could do that. It's a good look at that.
Yeah. I'm going to hope for the best. And I think it's a 1-year deal. Wouldn't shock me. 2 things wouldn't shock me. One, that he's traded at the trade deadline if the Giants aren't in the thick of it. And 2, that he's not playing every day like he probably will the first 30 games. If after 45 games, we're in the middle of May, and there's signs that Casey's doing well and the defense isn't doing great, that he gets moved around, he gets spot started, that type of thing. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. All right. That's it. You got any final words, Dallas?
No, I think that's a good breakdown. We're not going to know until we see the game. So at this point, I don't see how it hurts that bad.
I don't think it hurts right now. No, I don't think it does.
It could definitely benefit the team because the guy can hit for a better average than anybody else on the team. So let's see what he can do.
It'd be a shock if he doesn't lead the team in hitting, right? Batting average. Not the best hitter on the team. He won't be the best hitter on the team.
If Devers beats him in batting average, then the Giants are in for a good year.
Yeah. Aaron, you're right. There's no such thing as a bad 1-year deal.
Exactly.
It could be a 3-4 month deal. It's not a bad deal. $12 million 1 year. I'm fine with it. I only point out some of the things that I point out just so people are aware. This isn't some guy that's, hey, we've got the greatest hitter in baseball. He's a 350 hitter and he's going to drive in 90 runs and he's, going to have on 400 on base percent. If he does that, Giants make the playoffs. Guarantee it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Give us a shout out. Make sure you like. I think we're really close to 6,000 subs, guys. I haven't checked today. Let me check and see if we made the 6,000 sub mark. We're close. Maybe somebody will be that. Hold on here. I gotta go here. We're almost out of here, guys. Let me see where we're at. We're 4 short. We're 5,996. So, guys, have somebody go get your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. Grab their phone and sub. Let's get us over to 6,000 subs tonight. That would be awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Let's get out of here and find the band. I think we're going to start up with the band, but we're not going to play the whole song through. There we go. All right, we got somebody that liked ChatGPT. You better thank Rennell. We fired her, though, but that wasn't the real Rennell Brooks. We would never fire the real Rennell Brooks here at NorCal Sports Network.
No.
We love Rennell Brooks. We were just...
Bad mistake, Giants. Bad mistake.
Yeah. So...
Man, that was just disgraceful.
Tony Victory song. Yeah, we'll have to play the Tony Victory song next. Hey, I wrote a couple songs yesterday with Suno AI. Or one yesterday, one today. Came out really good. I'm really happy with it. I think I got a hit on one of them.
Wow. Let us know when the album's coming out.
Yeah, I got a hit, man. Should I put my mug on there? I only wrote about maybe 50 to 65% of it. I put all the words in, and then I thought I had it pretty good, then they rearranged it, but they took most of what I said. But then I didn't do anything with the music. All right. Let's see what else we got. I think that's it. Nothing more in the chat that I missed. I'm looking. All right. Hey, 1 week from today, baby. Pitchers Catchers report right in Scottsdale. Right in my backyard, baby. So we'll be down getting you some coverage coming back. So guys, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We're not going to go to the end of this song, so Dallas is just going to say goodbye. Or John is. Goodbye!